right, against the utility rate, but it is an increase from the current program, and that is primarily due to that capacity component, right? So where you had residents that were saving, a couple $100 a year, that probably is going to shrink down to maybe half, but still meaningful savings, right? So $75 to $100 a year, but just less than we saw for the last couple of years. Now, when I had sent this out a couple weeks ago, 24 months was what I was recommending, and since then it's changed, that there's a lot of premium that we're seeing that I think is going to come off in the next couple of months once we get past the summer, right? And I didn't want to come here and suggest, hey, let's lock into something that's artificially inflated right now. Let's kind of wait and see how that settles out. So that's the reason the suggestion for just a 12-month term, but then also wanted to talk about how we can opportunistically make those transactions looking out through 2030. And so, 98% of our other communities who are outside of Delaware County, they've given us a not to exceed authority, right? So when we see a market opportunity, we can transact. We give 24-hour notice. We say, hey, if you don't want us to proceed, let us know and we won't. Otherwise, we don't hear from you, or you say yes, then we'll move forward with the transaction, right? And the Delaware County Prosecutor's Office has not gotten comfortable with that in the past. So we're happy to re-engage in that conversation and see what mechanisms we could put in place. This definitely isn't any effort to sidestep board decision. It's just that those points of volatility are more frequently and much more shorter lived. And so we would want to try to be smart and take advantage of those when we can. Okay. Also, any questions?
Yeah, I got one.
A lot of technical stuff.
I got one. Back it up, please.
Go back a
Keep
couple.
going.
Yeah, so in our resolution, it states that the period from 2023 to 2026 establishes a fixed rate exclusive of capacity costs of $0.0654 per 1,000 kilowatt hours. How do you reconcile that 0.09 with what we have in our resolution?
Yeah, so that's exclusive of that capacity component, which is about 3 cents.
Okay.
Yep. And so we did that. We moved over to that structure a couple of years back to try to do kind of the same thing, right? Of saying, like, let's not wait around to know what capacity is going to be. You have to pay it anyways. Let's try and take a lower energy price while it's here, and then we're just going to plug that on top of it. So that's exactly what that delta is. And so for that period that you had just referenced, right? That 6.3, I'm sorry, I can't remember the other two numbers. Yeah, that stayed static for the entirety of the time, right? And then we just added that capacity part right on top. And that's what we would do moving forward, right? And that's what we're doing with the rest of our portfolio, is to say, let's not wait around for something we know is going to be expensive and you have to pay. If we could find a good point in the market now, let's grab it and make sure we're at least hedging where we can smartly, and then we'll add on the capacity component once we know it.
So the capacity is not in that June 26th to May 27th?
It is.
It is.
That is in there, yes, because we do know what that is now.
She didn't in this resolution, right? When you gave us the resolution, you didn't know at the time?
No, when we did that resolution previously, no.
And the language says inclusive of capacity costs.
It says inclusive? Should be.
Yeah, inclusive. The 0.09998 is inclusive of
correct.
capacity.
Yes, it is not,
Yeah.
yes. This extension
Which now
would
makes
be
sense
inclusive.
comparing those two. All right.
When you were giving us the trends, what are those numbers? Are they just Ohio, or because it sounded like some of the stats were regional, and then the other one said something about Dayton on it. So is that just our region? Is it all of Ohio? Where does that information come from?
Yeah, so the capacity trend, that's for the entire grid. So that's 13 state grid, right? When we were looking at that graph where it says AEP Dayton Hub, that's the trading hub for electricity that covers this part of the state. Right, so there's other trading hubs that cover the northern part of the state, and those would be for different utilities. That would be for like First Energy utility. The AEP Dayton Hub is what covers this area of the state.
Got it.
That said, the general trend is very, very similar across the entirety of the state and really across the entirety of the grid. It's just a little bit nuanced depending on, might be colder in certain areas of the state than other areas, so that can change what the trading point looks like a little bit.
Okay, thank you. It's helpful. All right, any other questions?
This might be for Paul more than Aaron, but in the resolution for gas, we specify the rates from the First Amendment, Second Amendment, and then this proposed third, but we don't do it for the gas. We just refer to the first agreement, but we don't have the rates in there to compare what the trend has been. Does that make sense?
Want to answer that one?
The resolutions.
So which one has the?
So it's electric goes through the rate of the First Amendment, then the rate of our last amendment, and then the proposed. But if you go to gas, we don't historically go through the rates that were the first, second, and third. We just go to right to the new rate.
Yeah, I believe that is due to the way that the language is for the supplier agreement. That kind of references back to, hey, we had this agreement in place. It was amended, it was amended, it was amended. Now here's where we are today. And so we did a couple of those blend periods. So I think it's specifically calling out what was done historically, where that didn't necessarily happen on the other end of it.
The electric's cleaner, essentially. You didn't have the changes. Okay.
Okay.
So it references Exhibit A, but there's no Exhibit A attached. Do we have Exhibit A? I don't see it on our packet.
Was that part of your email?
Exhibit, no, unless it is referencing to the actual documents that would need to be transacted from the supplier.
It says fixed rate price in accordance with MSA Attachment A.
So there is a large master service agreement that was signed, many, many, many years ago.
That's the
with
Exhibit A.
Archer. Yes, that's correct. And so this is.
Oh, okay, this is an amendment to the,
Yep.
okay.
And so all those underlying terms and conditions still apply of, what
Got
the
it.
notice period is and default and all that other stuff. This is just a truncated version because we don't need to unwind any of that. This is just establishing a new price point moving forward.
Yep,
Okay.
all right.
So Karen, for folks that aren't on this, what's the incentive? Like, how does this compare to someone's normal electric or gas bill?
Sure, yeah. So the program saves from both, electric and natural gas, right? That's the whole point of the program is to offer savings against the default rate offered by the utility. Also that you can enter and exit the program at any time. So if you want to participate, you can participate. If you don't have to. If you want to go back and forth, you can. We have some people who have solar and they have net metering. And so in the summertime, it makes sense to be with the utility because they're getting that net credit against a higher dollar amount. In the wintertime, it makes sense to be an aggregation program so people swap back and forth. There's no penalties, there's no termination fees. You're more than welcome to shop for your own program, and some people do that. There's frequently fees that are associated with those programs, right? And so just if they do, read the fine print carefully. There's some gotchas in there that tend to happen, but this program has been the best, right? So it's maximum flexibility and really just exists to be able to offer savings to residents.
How would one know if they were in this aggregate program?
Yeah, so it'll be referenced on their bill. It's towards the bottom portion for the electric bill. It's on, I think, the second page for the natural gas bill. And then a supplier would be referenced. If they have questions, though, they can call me, they can call our office. We can walk them through it if they have a bill in front of them just to be able to show. We could also check, right? So if they just say, hey, I live at this address, we get all the utility file lists, and we can say, yeah, we have somebody or don't have someone under that. And then same thing, if they want to join, they could contact the supplier directly, or they could call us. We could help them out.
I will note, if you're on suburban gas in Genoa Township, you're not eligible for the gas aggregation. It's only Columbia customers.
We've always encouraged the residents to do their own shopping, go on the Apples to Apples website, compare the rates. If someone else can beat us, jump off and save your money. It's not like we're forcing anybody to be in this
It's
aggregation.
an option.
It's only an option.
Very good.
And really, like we're talking about, right, it's a commodity market. So something that might be on apples to apples, in 6 months from now, it's a different market point than when we put the aggregation program in place, right? And so we try to make the best decision with the information you have, but no one has a crystal ball. If we did, we'd all be on an island with a lot of margaritas. And unfortunately, probably wouldn't be talking. But yeah, absolutely. They're more than welcome to, shop for their own rate, and if they can get better savings, great, all the better.
Very good. Thank you.
Welcome.
Were you finished? I don't want to cut you off, but were you finished with
Yep,
that?
yep,
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
finished.
all right.
Yeah.
He asked you to go back, and I didn't know if that was the end.
Yeah, no, the rest of it was just a summary of what we
Okay.
talked about. So.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Well, thank you for
All
the
right.
thorough,
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all.
very helpful.
Karen?
All right, there's 2 resolutions this evening to consider.
Any other discussion? Or do we want to go into a resolution? You good?
I don't have any.
I don't-
and that
I
was
don't either.
very
Yep.
Thorough.
Okay, I move to approve the Fourth Amendment to Master Service Agreement dated March 23rd, 2022 between Archer Energy LLC and Genoa Township Board of Trustees, Delaware County, as presented. Do I have a second?
Second?
Discussion? Roll.
Trustee Antonetts?
Yes.
Trustee McMurray?
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn?
Yes, motion carries. Okay. And next, I move to approve the Third Amendment to the Master Service Agreement dated November 15th, 2022 between Archer Energy LLC and Genoa Township Board of Trustees, Delaware County, Ohio, as presented. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, discussion? Roll.
Trustee Antonetts?
Yes.
Trustee McMurray?
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn?
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you. Next up on the agenda is a request for the board to approve the application in the, of a new credit card account for the township. We have several credit cards, but with the new position of communication and events director, she's always trying to find good prices for everything, and she's usually out on a weekend, and if she finds things for the events, she wants the ability to buy those, and then instead of having to come to the office Monday morning to get the credit card from me, but having one for her own name would be a benefit to the township and save a lot of time and money. I recommend the board resolve to add that this evening.
Okay, I'll move to amend the Genoa Township credit card account policy as required by the Auditor of State of Ohio, Article 1, Section 2, authorized users to include the Director of Communications and Events with the credit limit up to $10,000. Do I have a second?
Second?
Let's discuss this.
Yeah.
It's
That's what I was gonna ask. What does the process look like?
We have a legal process that we have to follow. We have a whole credit card policy that was generated a bunch of years ago by state law
Yeah.
that we are,
2020.
2020, and we have to follow by law all the checks and balances required. And Donna wants to speak of that, so.
Yeah, we were, we had to create a compliance officer, which was the fiscal office. We do not have a card for that reason. All of the other departments heads have a credit card with the exact same dollar amount. We go through a monthly check and balance process where I'm in receipt of all of the logs. I balance that with the bill, making sure that all of the receipts and everything match up to what they're utilizing the cards for.
Along with that, I co-signed the department leaders, all their credit card logs.
Mhm. And then they're presented to you guys as a voucher. You don't see those as checks. Yep, they're the vouchers. So I do pay those. And I always pay those upfront, balance on the back end, because anything that we've ever had to dispute with the bank, we will get the credit in the following month.
And the policy used to only go up to $5,000, but during COVID, when everything became inflated, we had staff members trying to buy items, and, quantities were limited, and they were buying it on their own credit card and then get reimbursed later. That's why it's 10,000, not 5,000. Because
Well, yeah, statute has increased as well. We
Okay.
used to have 2,500 before board approval. Now we have up to 10,000.
Right.
So we've made those within our purchasing policy as well.
And each authorized user has to sign the policy and take responsibility for those charges. If not, then there could be an audit finding against them along with other issues with dealing with the board, so.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Roll.
That's been quick. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Trustee Antonetts?
Yes.
Trustee McMurray?
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn?
Yes, motion passes.
Next up, I just want to inform the board of the Rumpke contract. Orange Township, Liberty Township, and Genoa Township met recently with Rumpke. The contract for waste and recycling is up January 31st to 2027. So we needed to start working ahead of time if they are going to go out to bid for the process or not. The prosecutor's office, and I'm working with Prosecutor Bull here, Michael Bull is here this evening. He's working with Chris Betts in the auditor's office to give us new agreements with the waste and recycling project. The agreement by law is if there's any increases over 10% in price, we have to go out to bid. Rumpke has decided to say, hey, I'm going to keep our next term at 9.9%. So it's still, we still had the lowest rate before, and this bill will keep us at a very, very good rate compared to other jurisdictions around central Ohio. I just wanted to let you know that probably when the prosecutor's office, probably within the next month, maybe the June meeting, they may have all the resolutions for all 3 townships ready to go, we hope. So I'm just letting you know that's coming up. And next, I want to let the board know, I've been working with the prosecutor's office also on the grants that we have through the state. The last session of the state capital bill, they approved 2 grants for the township. One was for improvements in McNamara Park, and the second was for stream restoration at Center Green Park. After speaking with the prosecutor's office, the board gave authorization to apply for those grants. So this evening, I need to have a resolution accepting the grants and allowing me to sign on behalf of the township for those 2 grants. If they're not in your packet, I have a free, there's an electronic version that's up on your
Saw that.
computer.
I don't have
Here,
that.
Renee.
Thank you.
Hard copy. Do you have a hard copy?
I don't. No.
I only need it to read it. Thank you. So we were awarded this a while ago, correct?
Yes.
But we never accepted it?
We just want to make sure, I didn't want to lose,
Money?
I wanted to make sure that we had this step done.
Okay.
And I didn't look through 3 to 4 years of past
Yep.
legislation to try to find. I know the authorization was made in December of 2023.
Can you look?
No, anyway, this will handle
All of
this
it.
next step.
Okay.
Making sure that the board has approved it and authorizing me to sign the paperwork.
I'm looking at a way I can shorten it, but I don't think I can. Okay.
Yeah.
Should I just read it
So moved.
as presented? I mean, I don't,
I presented it to you with what they are to the board, to the public. It's 2 grants amounting to $150,000 apiece. The township's been awarded the grants. The paperwork hasn't been signed off yet. So
okay.
it's, I'm presenting that to the board at this time, and you can
Okay.
approve. And make sure you read the last section.
Yeah,
though,
I will.
Resolved.
I will move to approve 2 grants from the capital budget fund. The first one's the McNamara Park project in the amount of $3,000. The second one is,
150,000,
Yeah.
what? This says 3,000.
the second line up there. That's
Oh, I see.
the
Okay.
ODNR
Got it.
fees.
Sorry. All right. It's not working. In the amount of $150,000, and then we also have the Center Green Stream Restoration Project, and that's included in the 150,000?
It's another 150,000.
It's another 150,000. All right, so total $300,000. Be resolved that the Genoa Township Board of Trustees hereby approve, accept grants DELA-016C and DELA-017C, and authorize Township Administrator to sign off on behalf of the board for these grants as presented. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is that good?
Yep.
All right. Roll?
Trustee Antonetts?
Yes.
Trustee McMurray?
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn?
Yes, motion passes.
Thank you. And that's all I have this evening.
Okay, thank you. All right, next we'll turn it over to fire.
Corey, do you want me to handle the first two? The personnel? Are you good?
It doesn't matter. I'm
Okay.
comfortable.
Okay.
Oh, before we move on to fire, I just want to state that as a courtesy to the public, I put out our agendas 1 week in advance of the meeting so that they have a chance to notify us if there's, that leaves a week ahead. Allow plenty of time, not to request items the day before the meeting and expect everyone's job to quit and handle a public records request. That usually is, we're too busy balancing the checkbook, getting the month ends done, preparing the agenda for the meeting. And so courtesy would be for the public if they need a public records request to give us time, because they are put out 7 days in advance.
Okay. Thanks for the tip. All right, now we'll go on to fire.
All right, the first item we have tonight is request an education supplement for Lieutenant Ron Delosier. He has completed his master's degree, and per the collective bargaining agreement, it's an additional $1.50 to his base hourly rate.
Okay, I will move to approve an education supplement for Lieutenant Ronald Delosier per Article 15.8 in the International Association of Firefighters Local Number 4307 Union Agreement in the amount of it's not $150, I'm sorry. It's $1.50 an hour for a master's degree in public health, community health education from Columbia Southern University, effective May 7th, 2026. Do I have a second? Second. Roll.
Trustee Antonetts?
Yes.
Trustee McMurray?
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn?
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you. Next item is firefighter Brian Porter would like to request the tuition reimbursement program. He would like to begin his studies to obtain his bachelor's degree at Columbia Southern University for fire administration. This is in accordance to the collective bargaining agreement, section 16.1.
Okay, I will move to approve a tuition reimbursement for firefighter paramedic Brian Porter per Article 16 in the International Association of Firefighters Local Number 4307 Union Agreement for a bachelor's degree in fire administration from Columbia Southern University. Reimbursement will be based upon final grades. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll.
Trustee Antonetts?
Yes.
Trustee McMurray?
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn?
Yes, motion passes.
Okay, we're going to skip the next item there.
Yes, the special leave will be after executive session.
Okay,
Okay.
So next up will be fire station roof and exterior repairs. And Mr. Wise or Chief Schubert, I'm not sure who wanted to speak on that first.
Let me lead off, and then I know Eric, Battalion Chief, could probably pitch in and help me on that. The township, a couple months ago, entered into agreement with a state purchasing group named Equalis. Now, using Equalis helps save time and money by having things bid out ahead of time. We don't have to go out for items. We normally would have to go out for items higher than 79,000 to go out and bid, which take a month or so to prepare the bid specs. Using a state purchasing program would take care of all those problems of the bid process. So the township went through Equalis and this recommendation to repair the roof in this way was the best way that was recommended to the township. I know we could probably have Joe Schmo Roofing come over and try to slap together something, but these are state certified vendors that we're using that have been vetted by the state, and they're good prices compared to what others are out there. So, Eric, do you want to describe the process?
Yes, Board, good evening.
Evening.
So with this process, as an alternative, tearing the roof off, because that is, we do have a lot of leaks. The last 3 or 4 years, it has increasingly gotten worse. We have a lot of 5-gallon buckets around the station at any time. But with this roof coating, if you kind of picture kind of like a Duraliner, if you will, a very hard surface roof, it penetrates in and it's water repellent and it has a 20-year warranty on that. So this would definitely alleviate the need for a roof tear-off. With a roof tear-off alone, as we were looking about 3 years ago, these prices, just in our living quarters alone at the fire station is $187,000. The apparatus bays was $300,000 to replace the roof. And that has not even gotten over to the other side of the PD, and we're at $500,000 with that right there. So it's a significant savings, cost savings for that, with a 20-year warranty, with this Duracoat on there, and having the ability to go back after 20 years and apply another coat and have that same warranty is just, it's tremendous. We certainly support that. And there's also, we have some problems with, if I may, to go on and access the block on our building. So that stone, after a while, you get any building that gets over 26 years old, you start to see some problems. And a lot of our water is also coming in through that stone. Windows are starting to rot out because of the mold and mildew and some of the deterioration of some of the cement that holds the stone. The same company will come in and power wash our building, as well as put a sealant on that, water repellent. And like I said, that should really repair any of the cement. That will certainly help us out, especially around a lot of our windows. Nothing is as far as is more than just normal wear and tear for 26 years. But these are some items that are really needed on there, and I think if, obviously, if we don't take care of some things, it just gets worse and goes down from that. If there's any other questions, as far as like I said, it's a 20-year warranty. They also offer a extended warranty as far as some coming back each year, checking the fasteners, make sure that everything is good, and any kind of work that might need to be done. But it does have a 2-year manufacturer's warranty on the paint. As far as the workmanship, the workmanship. It's a 20-year on the paint. So, like I said, essentially, we could be looking at 40 years and not have to touch that roof other than to reseal it at the time and at a portion of the cost of a new roof.
So as you guys went through this process, did you do any reference or referrals to talk to other company or other organizations that have utilized this product in this company?
Yes, there's been quite a bit of, we had a salesman come up and they actually give us some of the places they've done, showed us some pictures of the product, and answered a lot of our questions that we would have on that, not being, not going down that road before. But yeah, it was, we were very satisfied with what their work was at some of these other places they've done.
So did you talk to any of those other places?
No, we have not talked to anybody. We just, for his referral and his pictures of what they've done.
I
Okay.
can jump in here. Berlin Township used this 3 years ago,
Oh, yeah.
and the chief talked to Berlin.
Okay, so
Yep.
I
Ber-
recall.
Berlin did it. They're very happy. And they
Prior to
saved
us
a lot,
going-
hundreds of thousands of dollars they saved.
That
That's,
was 3 years ago, and it's
they're
been going well.
still happy.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought I had recalled.
Yeah, and I
potentially-
want to say Liberty did too. There have been a couple townships in Delaware County that have used the same company.
Okay.
And I would
How long
like,
has this company been around? Do we have history with?
I may have to.
I don't know.
Yeah, talk with Chief Ponzi on that. I do not know.
I can tell you that this doesn't count as a roof. As we've gone through this, I guess there's only so many layers that you can pile up on your roof, and what they do is go in, it's not the metal that corrodes, it's the joints. The water leaks through every nail or whatever they use, and so they go through and they clean out the rust, and then they seal that part. And then the seal has a color, and they wanted to do red because the current roof is red, but it's not the same color red. It's like a dark red. It doesn't really match.
So you'd be able to
They're
see
going to
it.
do gray, from what I had heard. And then I think they're going to paint some of the trim red. So it just,
So
if
the
you
roof
can't
will
get
be
what you
all
want, yeah, it's going to be a
all gray
gray. It's going to be a gray
With a red
roof.
trim? I don't-
Yeah,
that wouldn't
yeah.
look bad.
A battleship gray is what it's
Yes,
called.
that's what I-
on there,
okay.
so
Okay.
It'll blend nicely in there.
Yeah.
With the block.
Yeah, but you can lay 2 more roofs on top of this.
If you ever wanted
Eventually,
to,
you wouldn't have to tear it off. And that's a cost to tear off a roof, so. I was quoted that at the same time we got this price, there was another quote going out with this company with a municipality who decided to tear off the roof. I guess they didn't qualify for the sealant. And our roof is 200 square feet bigger than their roof, and their roof was, or theirs was theirs was more expensive. But close to the same size, and it was over $600,000 to tear off and replace that roof. So when you're looking at $199,000, I feel like I'm with you. I feel like it's a good deal. Plus, when Berlin has used it and they're satisfied with it, I think it's a. And then I did talk to the chief about the warranty. It's a 20-year warranty. It's $1,000 a year, but it's prorated, so I think it comes up to like 24 total. You can pay it every year, or you can pay it all up front. It includes a roof inspection every year, an analysis of the roof, and then it includes any repairs for 20 years. I was shocked that it included the repairs. But he had said that when you've had somebody come out, you've spent $800 to fix.
Every time somebody comes out.
Yeah, every
Yep.
time somebody comes out.
That's correct.
Yep, yep.
It was like they were established in 2002.
Oh, okay, good.
I think I did know that, but I forgot.
Same year.
That sounds familiar.
24, almost 25 years.
Yep, yep.
When you're working with public funds, levied funds, this, having this instead of the major cost frees up money for a lot of other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know. You have any questions, Mark?
I don't. I would just say I'm not a big fan of preventative maintenance programs. When I buy products, I don't buy into the extended warranty, but I think the fact that it's a roof and the impact of a failed roof can be really expensive. It starts affecting the inside of the building. So for that reason, I don't want to climb up on the roof to check it.
Okay. Annette, you have anything?
No, I mean, I think that the warranty fee, $1,000, that's not astronomical by any means. I think that it's cost savings in the long run by doing that preventative maintenance.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't have
Ready
anything
for a
else.
motion?
Yeah.
I move to enter into an agreement with Roof Connect National Roofing Services for the following: fluid applied roof membrane system in the amount of $198,000. I don't know what.
Alternate number one.
Alternate number 1, cleaning and maintenance of masonry block in the amount of $21,087.22, and preventative maintenance program in the amount of $24,500. And authorize the township administrator to sign the agreement on behalf of the Genoa Township Board of Trustees, and authorize the fiscal office to issue a purchase order to Roof Connect National Roofing Services in the amount of $243,587.22 per Equalis Ohio contract, COG-2133B. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, I would just like to touch base a little bit on the masonry block. That's exterior? Yes. And Lauren, that's nothing that we can power wash, and you're not comfortable with that?
I don't have mason-trained employees. We don't have a lot of history with that, so especially with the integrity of the building at risk, I wouldn't feel comfortable with my employees doing that.
Okay. All right. That's all. Thanks.
Okay. Roll?
Trustee Antonetts?
Yes.
Trustee McMurray?
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn?
Yes, motion passes.
Board, we appreciate it very much.
Well, it's a long time coming, right? You've had issues with that roof for a while.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next we have up is the request to enter into agreement for asbestos abatement. Mr. Wise, or?
Yes, we were beginning to work with, before we began the work for the renovation of the new recreation center over near the fire department, we had to have a asbestos test done before we disturbed any of the inside work. That test came up positive, and so we checked bids with multiple companies. They ranged from over 100,000 to this one for 24,400. We've worked with them before. They worked with us on the Freeman Farmhouse and other abatement with some fire department whenever they go into a home to burn down. They've used this company before also. So they come as we recommend this bid being the lowest and best bid that we received.
Okay, I move to enter into agreement with the Ohio Technical Services Incorporated for asbestos abatement at 7049 Big Walnut Road, Galena, Ohio 43021. Authorize the Township Administrator to sign the agreement on behalf of the Genoa Township Board of Trustees and authorize the Fiscal Office to issue a purchase order in the amount of $24,400. Do I have a second?
Can I ask a question first?
Second it, and then we'll do discussion. Yep. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Yep, now we'll do discussion.
I'm off.
It's all good.
What exactly is being abated through this? Like,
So
is it
the building
floor
has-
tiles or roof?
They're
or
actually
ceiling tiles?
Ceiling tiles.
Okay.
And a lot of them are up above the utilities that are run. So they will take down the existing ducts, make sure they're all cleaned, all everything will be cleaned and disinfected, and all the asbestos will be removed and sent to a state-certified landfill for asbestos. So that way, we want to mess with any of it ourselves, and the room will be free of anything contagious from our own employees.
And then they'll put everything back together
Yes,
following, okay,
there'll need to be more insulation put up where these were brought down, so.
okay.
And Ponzi had said you used this company for what? Would
We-
you remember?
Well,
What we-
whenever, like, we used it for Freeman Farms, the house,
Before they burn it.
Yep, okay.
other projects.
And you've had good luck with this
Very
company?
good luck.
Yeah, and they were by far the lowest bidder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did they do the building before, the tear-down building before the police station was built as well? We had asbestos in there.
No, that didn't have any,
Oh, that didn't.
no.
Okay. All right, roll.
Trustee Antonetts?
Yes.
Trustee McMurray?
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn?
Yes, motion carries.
Okay, next up is a request for a purchase order.
wait.
For,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
I'm
if
sorry,
you
guys. Real quick, jump in. We do need a supplemental appropriation for that. That item was not a part of your 2026 permanent appropriations. So we will be asking that you move the $24,400 from the contingency in the general fund to improvement of sites.
Okay. Well, go ahead. I'll let you talk before I read the
No,
motion.
yeah,
Yeah, we need that resolution
Oh,
first.
first?
Yep.
back to the.
Yes, sorry, this is for the asbestos.
Okay,
I see it.
I will move to approve the following supplemental appropriation amendment, moving $24,400 from the general fund contingency fund
To the capital fund.
to the capital fund, thank you, as presented. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll.
Trustee Antonetts?
Yes.
Trustee McMurray?
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn?
Yes, motion
Thank you.
passes.
Thank you. All right, so now on to the request to, request for a purchase order to Byers Chevrolet. And this is for the battalion chief vehicle. So in October of last year, the board approved the purchase of the vehicle. The vehicle came in from the dealership. It was not the right vehicle, and that dealership does not have the ability to get us a vehicle. And the order for this year window has already closed. Fortunately, Byers does have the vehicle that we had ordered through another dealership. So we would request a purchase order in the amount of $56,599 to purchase that vehicle.
And I'll add, the chief said we haven't paid for the vehicle that came in. That is incorrect.
That
Yeah.
is correct, yep. We have notified that dealership that we are not taking possession of it, not paying anything for that.
Yep, and eventually it'll go somewhere,
Yes.
not here.
Not here, correct.
All right. All right, I move to approve the following purchase orders for the purchase of and installation of equipment for a 2026 Chevrolet Tahoe Special Service Unit from Byers Toyota for $56,599 and J.D. Johnson Sales and Services LLC for $17,999. Do I have a second?
Byers Chevrolet.
Oh, Byers, what'd I say?
Toyota.
Toyota, well,
Never mind.
they have Toyota too, and they have Ford, and they have it all. Thank you. Byers? Got a story
She just
about
needs
them.
the mug.
No. Ooh, I don't use
Okay.
them anymore.
Okay,
I'll
so
just say that.
Byers Chevrolet.
Did somebody second that?
I'll second it.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, Byers Chevrolet. Discussion?
So purchasing the correct Tahoe, is it costing us anything additional, or is it?
So the difference from the cost that was approved in October of last year to the current price is $500.
Okay.
Is the difference.
Thank you.
Yep.
Get it. The state bid window is closed and you can't get it. So, yeah, is what it is, I guess. And I also asked if there were any pieces of the old vehicle, battalion chief vehicle, being used. And
Yes.
can you tell us the age? I forget.
So the vehicle that we are replacing is a 2013. There's a few things we can take from there. The mobile radios, a flashlight, our iPad holder and the iPad, those can come out. Some of the
Fuzzy
other stuff.
dice.
No fuzzy dice, unfortunately. But the other consoles are kind of vehicle specific and the configurations have changed, so we're not able to reutilize those.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay.
Roll call. Trustee Antonetts?
Yes.
Trustee McMurray?
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn?
Yes, motion passes.
Okay, fiscal will jump in and handle the final item for the fire report. Because that purchase order was issued in 2025, when I close it, it does not allow me to re-encumber those funds. So with that being said, we do need to have you guys amend the 2026, I think I screwed that up, permanent appropriations in the fire fund, capital outlay in the amount of $56,600 to cover that purchase price.
Okay, I will move to amend the 2026 permanent appropriations in the fire levy fund, capital outlay in the amount of $56,600. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll.
Trustee Antonetts?
Yes.
Trustee McMurray?
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn?
Yes, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who's doing zoning?
I will work with the county prosecutor on this issue because this abatement located at J. Cox Road is it's very legally entwined, and we've never encountered a case like this before. What happened is the neighbors have called because the property is becoming unsightly. There's a tree on the house that's high grass, weeds, abandoned cars. What happened was there was a death at the house this past winter, and the person passed away, had to utilize township funds under the indigent burial fund, had no money to take care of that issue, and we couldn't find any relatives to handle any of the fees. That in fact, the house wasn't even the person that was living in it. It wasn't her house. That person died 5 or so years ago. So now, trying to abate a property with these problems, with ownership issues, with legalities, there's property on this thing that we don't own, that are titled to people, and I'll let the prosecutor try to sort this for
Yeah,
us.
so
Welcome,
yeah, well,
nice
first
to meet
off,
you.
Nice to meet you. I've been meaning to pop by anyway since
Yeah.
APA Go became magistrate, Corey Go. So
Yeah.
hoping to give you guys a little stability and representation. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a little volatile the last year.
it has been. We're pretty thin, but we're hoping that we can kind of stabilize that bit for a while. So
Great, thank you.
knock on wood. Yeah, this is a weird one. I've only known of one other case in the county in the past number of years where we've used this particular statute. It's 50586, which basically says if a property is deemed to be structurally unsafe and unsound, the township by resolution can go in and either secure it or, in this case, based on the pictures I've seen, take it down. We're within our right to do that just based on the statute. The only weird thing is notice, because everyone we're aware of that's ever lived in that house or titled to that house has passed away.
Wow.
There's no estate open for either of the two people that Paul was talking about, and there, as far as I've seen, no public obituaries either. So I'm sure there are errors somewhere, legally speaking. We certainly don't know what that would be. So our recommendation would be, based on the statute, we can post it on the website or the newspaper 30 days before we go in and take it down, and then recoup that cost via a tax abatement on the property, which at some point is going to get foreclosed on because it's already well behind in taxes. I can't say when, but that's the process.
So that'll go to auction.
Eventually, yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. At some point, this property is going to get foreclosed on. It's going to go to auction, and then
That's when we have an opportunity to recoup our
correct. Yeah.
cost.
The question is, will we recoup our costs? You know, what's the value and how far in back taxes are they?
Right, I have
Right now, I believe they're between 5,000 to 8,000 in the whole and back taxes, with some more coming up for the second half. So we're getting closer to 9,000, 10,000. There's a Medicaid lien on the property, but our lien should supersede that, I believe. Don't quote me on that. There's no bank loan, so that's good. There's no bank that's looking to get paid. It's really just paying back the township and the county and the Medicaid lien. My guess is that properties will be worth a lot more without the structure than with it.
Okay.
Increase
They're
the value.
pretty massive. That whole place is leaning a bit. There's some pretty large holes in the accessory structures, and building and safety came out and said this is unfit for habitation, put a sticker on it, do not enter. At this point, it's a nuisance abatement because you don't want kids going in there hanging out and the roof falls in or something along those lines. So
question legally,
Sure.
inside one of those structures or property of value,
yeah,
what happens to that?
that's been a topic of discussion in our office because 50586 is helpfully silent on any property you find. You would expect there to be some property and structures you take down, even if there's no value. There's case law to demonstrate that if property gets destroyed in this process, as long as the county and township wasn't malicious, you're in the clear from potential litigation. The best we can figure at this point, I know there's like a lawnmower, for example, that looks fairly new in the garage, is the township would hold it for a while and eventually become unclaimed property and they could dispose of it,
That makes sense.
you know. That's our best guess at this
Or-
point.
Or could
because
we keep it and use it?
You cannot use it, no.
You cannot use it?
Not right away, because it
Then
belongs.
once it becomes unclaimed, like,
Then you can explore the process of
What-
using
what
it
to
or
do.
selling it and using that toward the abatement, whatever you prefer at that point.
Is there a period of time that we have to wait for
There
that?
is, I want to say 90 days.
Oh, okay.
that would seem reasonable.
There's
Again,
prob-
that's in the statute, and I'm going off memory here, but I think that's about right. If it's,
We can look up statutes.
we can, and we will, yes.
There's property in the garage that our maintenance department can obviously use and can better them.
Yeah, because in theory, the problem is that belongs to whoever the heirs are, right? And the problem is, based on, the indigent burial and whatnot, we've not been able to find any. Legally, they exist, right? Everyone has heirs, even if it's the state, right? But we don't know who that is, and there's no estate that's been open for either the husband or the wife that used to live at that property. So at this point, best I can say is take down the structures, and then anything of value, which I'm guessing probably not a lot besides that, some of that maintenance equipment, the township would hold and then use eventually as unclaimed abandoned property.
Okay.
That's the best we've gotten so far because, like I said, I think talking to building and safety, they've done one other one of these in the past probably about 5 years. So this is not an often used statute, and we're all sort of figuring it out as we go.
Okay.
But I've been working with Joe, that's our best explanation. Building and safety obviously already marked it unsafe, so we are within our right to start this process whenever the board is so inclined to do so.
Okay. My only concern was, is this worth it? Because it's, but the fact that you say the property is more valuable without the building, I think.
I think so, and if Mr. Schaefer's here, he could probably tell you more cost-wise what this is going to cost. I have not seen those estimates, but.
He said it didn't include junk cars, like the
And
estimate he got wasn't
see, here's
accurate.
the other, there's some weeds, and that'd be a second resolution to go in and clean that up if you wanted.
Yep.
There are some cars, I'm not sure if they are considered junk cars under the statute, which means they just kind of sit there for a while, and then whoever buys the property would have to figure that out. Like Paul kind of said, there's a lot of layers to this property, which both legally and practically make it a little finicky, right?
Yeah.
So it's unsafe for habitation, whether the board now or in the future wants to declare it a nuisance is up to your judgment.
So the cars wouldn't be considered a nuisance?
There is 505-871 is the junk car nuisance, and you can remove junk cars from property. To be a junk car, it has to be more than 3 years old. It has to be, this is where it gets you, apparently inoperable, and it has to have significant damage to it. The problem is you look at a 91 Civic, how do you know if it's operable or not, right? Unless it's on blocks and there's no engine or the back's missing. Okay, that's a junk car. If it looks like just an old car, from my vantage point, it's almost impossible to tell if it's inoperable or not.
Mm-hmm.
So who raises and disposes of the building and cars?
Have to contract out for a demolition expert and pay for it.
In theory, the
And then
trustees
assess-
could go do that themselves if they were, so inclined. but-
Then we would assess the
Into
property.
asbestos and lead, it could be very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we would assess the property taxes with our own.
Right. There is an option in the statute, you can pursue civil litigation to get your money back, but there's no one here to
You're gonna-
pursue.
yeah.
So in the event where you know the owner, which is the other case we dealt with, that's a little more viable. In this case, you're really doing it because this is a nuisance and we don't want anyone getting hurt. And that's really why you do it. And at some point down the road, you'd get your money back. But
How much land is there?
Hold on, I'm rolling down here on the computer and it should say somewhere.
0.34,
yeah,
0.304.
it's not a huge
Yeah,
lot.
point
Wow.
three.
An acre.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I'm like.
Wow. Probably
It's-
about
Right now, it's a
150,000.
small house and an accessory structure. I think there's a shed and a garage, both of which have also been deemed by building safety to be uninhabitable. There's a big hole in the garage, so the quote Joe's working on, all of them would go down. It wouldn't just be the house, it'd be all the structures, basically just,
So we'd have to leave the cars, because they're not.
at this point, I think you would, yeah.
All right, so we passed this resolution authorizing the abatement, but we won't know the cost until we go out and.
Right, we're gonna have to
Solicit
come back
proposals.
next meeting then to
what I
appropriate funds
think,
for
yeah.
this.
So it's kind of a multi-step process. You can declare a nuisance today, and then we can start the notice process in terms of
Right.
putting on the website. I would still mail out notice. Maybe that mail's getting forwarded somewhere. I doubt it, but maybe someone answers. If they object, then we have to have a quasi judicial hearing where they say, don't tear down my house, and we say, okay, why not, yada, yada. Again, I doubt that happens in this case, but, and then within 30 days after we pass this, we can, in theory, move forward. So by your next meeting, if you appropriate the funds, you should be able to move forward shortly thereafter.
Yeah, I did ask Joe this question. Passing this resolution just gives him permission to send the letter.
Correct.
Yeah.
It says this property and the structure is a nuisance.
Mhm.
What we do next is kind of up to the statute and how you want to proceed, but I think at this point, it's fair to say this is a nuisance property regardless of whether we enter into a contract or not. Joe did ask me if it was an evergreen contract, or essentially like, once you pass this, is it good forever? I told him, as long as we're making progress and steps forward, this resolution's good. At some point, if we're a year from now, we haven't done anything, I would ask the board for a new resolution declaring it a nuisance again. There's not a hard timeline on that, but it's one of those. As long as we're making progress, we're doing something, the resolution is so good. As long as we're sitting there forgetting about it, maybe we need a new one down the road. So, if that makes sense.
Yep, thank you.
If you haven't seen it, I would strongly encourage you to
Oh, I've
take
driven
a
past.
gander.
Yeah, I've driven
Yeah,
past.
I've seen some pictures the county took, and it's rough.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend that, there's a lot of
I'd wear a hat.
stuff.
Look closely, because you can
Critters.
hardly see it. Yeah.
Well, and there's some aspect with the health department too, because there's some, I think, some chemicals in the back that are just sitting. And, yeah, there's, like I said, layers. Yeah.
Okay, I will move to abate the dangerous property conditions pursuant to RC 505.86 on real property located on 5686 J. Cox Road, Galena, Ohio 43021. Delaware County permanent parcel number 317-230-01-031-000 as presented. Do I have a second?
Second?
Discussion? Roll.
Trustee Antonetts?
Yes.
Trustee McMurray?
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn?
Yes, motion passes. One other question. Can we use the county demolition fund? Don't they have, what is that? What did we use for the police department?
That went through the state, and it
Did
doesn't
it?
happen anytime soon,
Okay.
It was,
and there's a lot of red tape associated.
Yeah, there's a lot of red tape.
what was that?
I thought it was the, I know, what is it called?
A brownfield type of
It's-
state demo fund.
No, it was, I believe,
Because they
John
said there's
Reinke
more
at the
money.
t-
Yeah, there's
yeah.
more money in it.
yeah, oh,
You know what we're
where they
talking
go
about?
and fix up the houses in the,
Yeah, I know what you're talking
I
about.
was say,
but
it's
I-
not
right
the
at the tip
land
of my
bank, is
tongue.
it? It's not the land bank.
the land bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the land bank.
Oh, the land bank. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I was thinking about something. So yeah, actually, Joe approached the land bank, I believe, before all this started, and they, to my knowledge, passed.
They don't want to do it?
To me,
deal
this
with it?
sounded like a perfect reason, the reason we have the land bank.
Mm-hmm. Right.
but,
It's
yeah.
dilapidated community or building, and this is, clearly.
From what I understand, zoning started there, and they were told that the land bank was passing.
Well,
Except-
I think I'll have a conversation with the county.
I think that would be appropriate, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
You're
See what I can do. Because I don't like no.
I never knew that about you.
Oh, touche, that was a good one. Oh, all right. Lauren, maintenance.
Good evening, Board. I have a few things for you this evening. The first is presenting a possible resolution for our HVAC finally. We've been talking about this for, I think, about a year now, maybe a little longer even. So I've done my homework pretty well with this. I've looked at several different options. We need two different systems, the way the break rooms are split. And as well as we've got the new bathroom that doesn't have HVAC right now, so that would be included as well. So I looked at a couple different mechanical options and spoke with two of the companies of the three that gave us estimates. And I presented to Paul what I felt was best for us economically and longevity for the building and for the township. So those are the ones I've presented to you this evening. With meeting with Weston Air and the others, Weston came in at the lowest bid, but they've also been amazing so far to work with, very easy to get a hold of and get to the building, which is more than half the battle sometimes. So what I'm proposing tonight is a purchase order in the amount of $22,019.58 for Weston Air so we can move forward with our HVAC installation.
Okay, I will move to approve a purchase order to Weston Air LLC in the amount of $22,019.58 for installation of 2 HVAC units at the Maintenance Department. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a couple questions. Your current system, how old is it?
I'm not sure of the age. The current system is located in the attic inside the building of the maintenance facility. It's actually above the break room. The heat gets extremely excessive in the summertime. There's nowhere for it to escape other than inside the building. The HVAC never turns off. If we don't change the filters at least once a week, it plugs up the entire system and shuts the system down. It's so dirty being at the location that it's in. So do you have any idea, Paul, how old that system is?
I kind of wanted
Yeah.
you to describe your
Yeah,
current
so
situation
this
is
new
what I was getting
system-
at, yeah.
This new system would be located outside. They will remove the old system for us. The weight on the ceiling is a little bit of a concern for me, especially with the building aging as well. So we'd get that down off of the ceiling of the break room, and everything would be moved outside and have a normal HVAC system for the building.
Can you go and, you mentioned you're going with 2 units because of your 2 break rooms. Can you kind of describe for the public why that's important to have 2 separate units?
So as the maintenance department grew, we ran out of room for the guys to have somewhere that's climate controlled to get out of the heat or the cold in the wintertime during their lunch break or breaks throughout the day. So they built a separate break room that's kind of on the other side of the main building. So the ductwork running across the building was not feasible when it came to efficiency and the cost. So what they all proposed, and the only equipment they proposed for that was a split. So the split was the only option for that room that made sense. And then we looked at a split for the office, the main break room, the men's room, and the ladies' room. The longevity of it was not going to be what we need. So the cost was not that much more to do an outside actual HVAC unit. They've proposed a 3-ton unit, which is more than enough for those two rooms, and I think the longevity of that would be great for the township in the future as well.
Okay, great. Any other questions?
Is a split like one of those inside units that
They're
kind
like-
of up high?
Have you seen what we have in McNamara, Maine, or that's a split unit? But yes, it's like on the outside of the building, and it's pretty much designed to take care of one room.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
No, I don't have any, but I will say, my nephew has his own HVAC company, and a year or 2 ago, the price of this equipment tripled. So he's telling me even for just a standard residential unit to replace just the AC unit now, it can be $8,000 to $9,000.
Easily.
So this number doesn't shock
I
me.
just replaced one in a 1,600 square foot condo and it was 12,000. I mean, like, gosh. Anyway, so yes. Good deal. All right, roll?
Trustee Antonetts?
Yes.
Trustee McMurray?
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn?
Yes, motion carries.
And the second resolution I'd like to propose this evening is a purchase order to Power Cement. This will take care of curb and gutter repairs for the township.
I'll move to approve a purchase order to Powers Cement LLC for 110,000 for curb and gutter repairs. Do I have a second?
Second?
Discussion?
Is this just material, right?
This is, Power Cement is the one that won our concrete bid this year. And this is additional to the curb and gutter repairs for the road resurfacing. In particular, St. Andrews was shockingly high, so our estimate was a bit off. So what we usually use each year is what I appropriated at the beginning of the year. I went out and measured and took actual measurements, and the 110 is where we are at with the difference.
All right, roll?
Trustee Antonetts?
Yes.
Trustee McMurray?
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn?
Yes, motion passes.
And the next I have is a resolution to approve the purchase orders. I won't go down through the list, but they are in front of you. These are the in-house resurfacing and mill and fill that we are doing with McCoy Paving.
Is this going to be published anywhere? Because people like to see if the road is going to be
Yeah.
repaired at all.
In the minutes.
Could we put it someplace
Like-
else too?
Wesley posted.
The only issue is if
If you don't get to it, then people
these
complain.
fixed prices right here,
Not even the prices, just the,
That is my estimated cost as long as nothing goes wrong.
Yes, so,
So, for instance, when we lost Danbury a few years ago, and the cost tripled, the roads that are in better condition that we can push to the next year, we have to push.
okay.
If that happens, people tend to get pretty upset
So
if that's
this is
their
a
road.
draft.
Yes.
Okay. All right. so
we
we're not
just
gonna-
sided with,
World, we'll get to
Yeah.
all of them.
nice if we printed them, but like I said, we've had to
Yeah.
drop 3 or 4 roads in 1 year because of the prices going up too high or the quantities. We hit a full depth removal on something, it blows the whole budget. So instead of getting people excited,
the road's getting
we
done.
just, if it's getting done, they're like, wow, great, that's awesome. But then,
On this list, is it in order of the worst is first?
No, that
Okay.
is not at all.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Nope.
Just curious.
And that goes with my road ratings that I do each year, so that's where those are at. Gosh, thought I was, I did suggest to Leslie last year, because she always likes to print the list. I said I thought it'd be kind of a nice touch in the newsletter in the fall to recap what we did get taken
Would be
care of
good.
for them. So
Yeah.
they still get their list. The other residents that maybe don't live in those areas can see what we did get to.
I like that.
she is printing the roads that are on the county highway list that we're doing through the county. Those
Okay.
are all, she's printed those ones.
Okay, that's fine. I just think people are interested in that.
Right.
Okay, I will move to approve the following purchase orders for the 2026 Genoa Township Road Surfacing Program per the material bids contract as presented. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll.
Trustee Antonetts? Trustee McMurray?
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn?
Yes, motion's approved.
Thank you, Board.
I'll turn it over to Chief McMillan.
Good evening, Board. I have a couple items for the agenda tonight. The first item I have, in order to keep in accordance with a policy we passed last year, tonight I'm going to request a resolution for approval to apply for a grant to reimburse us for our body armor. So every year our body armors operate on a 5-year cycle, so every year we have to take care of the vests that will be expiring in the following year. This year, it would be a total of 5 vests. The total purchase for the vests costs $8,277. We've applied for this grant a version of this grant for the past several years. Last year, Jim Denman, Deputy Chief Jim Denman, flipped over and started working with a state grant in accordance with conjunction with the Bureau of Workers' Compensation. And we bumped from a 50% reimbursement to a 75%. So what we're requesting is to apply for that same grant again this year, which would give us a 75% reimbursement on the purchase of these vests that we have to purchase anyway. So ultimately, what it would be is the grant would give us back $6,207, costing the township taxpayers $2,069 of that $8,277 if you guys approve us to move forward with that application.
You have I don't have the name of the company in the resolution.
That's not in the application.
It's going to be BWC.
BWC.
Yeah, the Bureau of Workers' Comp is who
Okay.
that's the state program that it works
Okay.
under. So it's with the Attorney General Dave Yost, and the BWC is who we would apply through the state for.
Okay. I move to approve the grant application with BWC for body armor. Do I have a second?
Second?
Discussion? Roll.
Trustee Antonetts?
Yes.
Trustee McMurray?
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn?
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you. And then I have one more item for the agenda. And what I wanted to do tonight was start a discussion on a potential donation that I was approached about within the last couple of weeks. So Eric Rose is the son of Jim Rose. Jim Rose is a former police officer with Delaware City and really is credited with starting the Delaware County SWAT teams. And he was the first commander for the Delaware County SWAT team known as DTU. Jim passed away last year, about a year ago. So the team has been working with Eric Rose, his son, to set up a Jim Rose Legacy Award and to do some things to honor the first commander of the SWAT team in Delaware County. And when they were talking, Eric approached the current SWAT commander, Sean Combs, who is also our sergeant with Genoa Township, and started talking about a potential partnership and a donation that Eric would like to do to a member of Delaware County Police Force. And so Genoa was one of the top ones on his list. And what he would like to do is he'd like to donate a Belgian Malinois to Genoa Township to use for patrol and also work in conjunction with the SWAT team. Really, the only stipulation he's given us is that he would like the dog named Jim. And so I'm okay with the dog being named Jim, so we can,
Hilarious.
I know he wants it named Jim after his father, but hey, I'm the chief and I'm named Jim, so I'm sure we can work that out. So he wants to work with a member of the county and also work with the SWAT team to donate that canine. So Eric himself has been a police officer at a couple of different police departments around central Ohio, none in Delaware County. Union County was where he primarily worked. He also did a lot of work as a civilian contractor with the Naval Special Warfare Unit who trains canines. Eric has some different private businesses as well that he's involved in where deals with some dignitary protections and things like that. So Eric's been tied in with this type of community his whole life along with his dad. When Jim passed away, Eric's now moved over here to Delaware County, so this is where he resides to be closer to his mom since she passed. A little bit about the canine that Eric is interested in donating to an agency in the county is it would be trained by the Navy Special Warfare Unit, which Eric has a relationship with. And as I've been told, this is the same unit that trains the canines for the Navy SEALs. So that's the type of training that these animals would get. The canine is a multi-purpose dog, meaning that it's trained to be able to detect explosives, tracking outside, also building searches inside for humans, and to work apprehension. And I've been doing a little bit of research on these type of canines myself, and one of the things that I found interesting about this apprehension work, it's not necessarily, well, they are trained in two types, but they're starting to train these canines in a different type of apprehension, more of a tackling maneuver than the basic bite work that you see that they do a lot of. So they're trying to train them in a couple of different ways to be able to stop someone and not necessarily always have to do that air quote, traditional bite work. So that's one of the things that I've noticed that they're doing, that they're trying to expand their horizons on these multi-purpose dogs. This type of canine would be at least 2 years old before we would receive it. And the reason why that is because it goes through an additional amount of training, more than what you would get from your standard police dog. So this dog would be a little bit older coming into the police world than what we're used to seeing, but is very typical when looking at trying to put them into these elite military units. So it would be a little bit older than what we have seen. I specifically ask about the ability for the dog to be with a new handler, because if Genoa Township is interested in this program, we would end up with a new canine handler for it. And I was told that it's actually easier for a new handler to deal with this type of animal because of the additional special training that it has. So, the way it's been explained to me, while police dogs are trained well and they do a really good job, these are trained to be able to work with these elite military units and have even more obedience training. Again, hence the reason why they're a little bit older than what we might typically see. I also ask about how would a canine like this work in a setting like ours. This, we are Genoa Township. We're not necessarily overseas in a war zone. And again, they said that this type of unit, because it has to work in units of large different military settings, different individuals come and go. It has to have that ability to operate in all kinds of different temperaments. It has to understand where it's working, the good side and the bad side, and to be able to work around all types. It's not an overly aggressive dog, and not a dog that's not obedient. They're far more obedient than what we're even used to seeing. So Eric also has offered to go to Europe, which is where the dogs live and are trained, to pick the canine out. And he stated that he'd do that because he understands the unit, he understands what we're looking for, and he understands the best type of dog that he wants to bring to the county that he lives in to honor his dad. And I've been looking, and I was told that to get one of these dogs and to have that training are typically valued between $50,000 to $55,000. And that would be the portion that's donated to Genoa Township. So all of that would be covered under the donation, not by taxpayer dollars. When I first heard about it, a couple of things that came to my mind and that I thought about when thinking about, is this something that's right for Genoa, and is it something that it's right to talk to the board about? The first thing I thought about was the ability to detect explosive materials. So Genoa Township has a lot of schools, a lot of churches, and a lot of various infrastructure that a dog to be able to detect explosives quickly and reliably would be valuable to the community. Right now, there's a lot of swatting calls, as they like to call it, but traditional bomb threats that are being called in at different things, and they're doing it in clusters. And so they're depleting area resources really quickly when it comes to these type of calls. And to have a resource dedicated to Genoa Township, dedicated to Delaware County and the SWAT team, once again, would be something that would be a very valuable service that Genoa Township doesn't currently have. And then a couple other things. Due to we received a $75,000-ish donation last year from an estate, and the stipulation was it had to be used specifically for our canine program. So we have that money, and over some of the different meetings and some of our budgets that we've talked about, we're replacing some of our older canine cars. So we have two currently, because we have 2 therapy dogs. They work as SROs. So we're gonna phase those out. The vehicles are older. They run fine, but since we had the money that we could only use towards some sort of canine program, we had talked about working with that. If we wanted to entertain this particular donation, what we would do, rather than replace the canine car that we were going to next year, so we were going to purchase a car, is we could just keep that car in service. It's an SRO car, so it drives to and from a house, stays at the school most of the time, and it's still a serviceable vehicle. It's just getting up there with some engine hours. And then the new vehicle we would use from the donated money to purchase it. So again, we're not really using much in the way of taxpayer money. We wouldn't have enough money to cover the complete vehicle and upfit, but it would be a minimal cost to the residents. It would come out of that estate. We've received large donations throughout the years for our canine program, and I have some of the numbers if we want to talk about them here in a couple of minutes, but really pretty much anything we've done with our canine program has come from private donations. The food that our canines eat and that all of the county has comes from a corporation that donates to a public agency, so you don't purchase the food. The dogs, every canine that we've ever purchased, which has been 5, has come from a private donor. We've never paid for a canine. We have money that's still in the coffers that we would have. We would need to train an individual for this particular special assignment. It would amount to a couple $100 to maybe a few $1,000s, but we carry a training budget as well, so we would just allocate some of that training to move around. And then the last thing that I would pass on to the board before I maybe open it up for a little bit of discussion or questions, if we did decide to move forward with a venture like this, we're talking about 1.5 to 2 years from the time that we start the process to before we'll see the canine over here in Genoa Township, because we do have to go through selecting the right person, which would also involve a partnership with our SWAT team and go through that process and then eventually bring that canine over. So I wanted to at least start the discussion and give some of those points and topics that I've thought about and went through since it was presented to me.
Thank you for the thorough analysis and explanation.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody have questions?
Yeah, if you don't know anything about the breed, I'd strongly urge you to Google it.
And if I didn't say it is a Belgian Malinois. So if we go back to, so Genoa has had a Belgian Malinois prior to this. Our first two, as they call them, working dogs, were various types of shepherds, and to tell you exactly what type they were, I'm not sure, but our last working dog that we had, Ben, and he did a lot of shows and was with the public a lot. He was a Belgian Malinois as well. He was trained in narcotics work and apprehension work. I guess if I didn't, or I probably just glossed over it when I was talking about it, this particular dog will not be trained in narcotics work. So it's very specific for explosives and tracking of people. And it also, if I didn't mention it as well, not only tracking bad people, but just missing people. So these dogs are well trained in article searches and area searches, and it would be another resource for us to help if we do have people missing outside of just necessarily suspects.
Who was the dog that didn't like Paul? Gandalf?
Oh, no, didn't like it.
Gandalf didn't like anybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think,
Gandalf was.
Yeah, if you think about who didn't like anybody, but in Paul in particular, probably both shepherds.
not like Paul.
Brutus got you.
Canines have actually drawn blood on me, so.
I know, that's why I'm asking.
Bit through the suit. The one with the titanium teeth bit through the suit into my arm.
Yeah, he lost his teeth in a drug situation, right?
I think he just barked and chattered them so much he may have worn them down, but
He had titanium.
I was not
teeth.
I was a young officer at that time, so I wasn't privy as to why our dog had canine teeth. He just did.
That was an answer on Jeopardy, sorry, to take over. Yeah.
Well, I have had a conversation with Chief about this. My only feeling is I don't think we need 3 police dogs, so and I've shared that with him. I like the timeline of this because we talked about the therapy dogs, that they're getting older in age, and it might work out where we phase one of them out and then bring in this dog.
And as we go through, and I also went through and I did along again, I could, with the numbers, what we spend per year on the canine. So right now with the therapy dogs, the position that they're in, unless something medically happens that's unexpected, their cost is minimal while we work through this process. And if we do decide to bring back on a working dog, which we traditionally have, and want to go down to a singular therapy dog or change the program back over, depending on how the schools want to incorporate or become a partner in that. Right now, that therapy dog program is just a part that's been added on to the SRO program. So if the schools want to partner in and do that, or if we want to minimize the amount of canines, for right now, they're not, I hate to say it, as in maintenance costs, but there's not a lot going on since those programs are established, and we would be looking at, probably closer to that 2-year mark before we were able to bring this dog on the road.
Any other thoughts, feedback?
No, my only question was, if this canine he's worth a lot. If something were to happen to him, are there insurance policies that would cover? Because I think of him like an asset versus our, therapy dogs. They're great, but they're not a $55,000.
And that's the only answer. I was in training. I had to get some continual police training credits over the last several days. So I don't have that if there's insurance for, medical or an insurance as in a policy like you would have on any type of asset. Yes.
Yeah.
So that
And
I don't.
Donna, I don't know if that's something maybe we could talk to our brokers about to see if there is some sort of rider or something that we could get added onto our policy.
I have insurance on my pet at home. I
Yeah.
know Nationwide offers a great
But
product,
that's like
yeah.
if it needs knee surgery or something. This would be like an asset policy.
Yeah, that would be our liability.
Yeah.
with-
Yeah, so that's,
Yeah.
that was really
can
my
ask-
only
I can ask
question
the
I
agent.
had.
Did we,
Tomorrow.
did we have anything like that when we had
Haven't
the other
had
two?
coverage like that, just,
Yeah, I mean, those I don't know, I think like a regular dog, even with their training, you're probably looking at about $10,000.
I think
for a service
typically,
dog.
typically that's what you would, I've always heard, when you're dealing with a police-trained canine, you're closer to that 10,000 mark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Versus what.
I
we're
just,
looking at.
I know my cousin, they have a service dog, and it was about $10,000 to get her trained. But I'm just thinking, this is a very expensive puppy dog. It's about, it's like a car. Mhm. Yeah, so that was my only kind of question, was just how do we protect that asset?
Yeah, and we probably also want to discuss any liability, just in case, you know. I know moving to that working situation, if we would need to add
Yeah,
any
some type of
additional
insurance for that, yep.
He draws blood on Paul.
on Paul. You're not going to be so kind.
Just fill out an incident report.
That'd be a BWC.
We won't allow the dog near, the dog near Administrator Y, so that way he feels safe.
Yeah.
They are, and another thing that, as it pops in my mind, we're talking about it, one of the things that, when I was talking to some of the trainers, they're actually training these canines with laser pointers. And so, again, when you start thinking about having them search an area, use one of our schools. I won't name any specific schools, so I don't jinx anybody, but, you know, some of their atriums are 100 yards long. You can put the team across the atrium, use a laser pointer to detect areas, and the canine can go search that without bringing up several police officers. So those are just some of the things that they're doing to work with these dogs to show their level of obedience. They know areas they can search with laser pointers where they can and can't work. And so it's really interesting to start digging into. The Belgian Malinois, you know, we had one here, but to start looking into what this particular group, this Navy Special Warfare Unit's doing with some of them, and even taking them beyond what the scope of we've seen with it, has really been been a neat thing to check out.
All right. Thank you for sharing that.
Anything else? Announcements? All right. I'll go into announcements. May 9th, that we have the police 50th anniversary. It's
Saturday,
what time?
11 to 1.
1. May 11th, June 8th is the zoning commission meeting. May 14th is the communications advisory committee meeting. May 19th is BZA. May 25th is Memorial Day. The offices will be closed. June 3rd will be the Parks Committee. And the next regular trustee meeting will be back to our regular second Tuesday of the month, which is June 9th, 2026. So at this time, I'll move to adjourn to executive session at 8:25 PM to consider the appointment of a public official, BZA open position, and to consider the employment and compensation of a public employee. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll.
Trustee Antonetts? Yes. Trustee McMurray?
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn?
Yes, motion passes. firefighter paramedic Michael Gertie per Article 25.5 in the International Association of Firefighters Local Number 4307 Union Agreement and authorize the use of 120 hours of sick leave effective May 4th through May 16th, 2026. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll.
Trustee Antoinette?
Yes.
Trustee McMurray?
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn?
Yes, motion passes. I will move to adjourn the meeting at 8:40 PM. Do I have a second? Discussion? Roll.
Trustee Antoinette? Trustee McMurray?
Yes.
Trustee Vaughn?
Yes, motion passes.